Hey everybody, this is Nios. I am here to make a video in response to the thread I had opened about my lightning build. I'm going to first start off with saying that a lot of this build is based around gear at the moment. In Reaper of Souls, it seems like a lot of the secondary affixes on certain legendaries make or break certain builds, and this is 100% one of those builds. I haven't seen anybody else really run a build like this, although it's really not much different than the spin to win. Most barbs usually do run anyway, but it is a unique build to its own. Let me go ahead and show you certain pieces of my gear that do make or break this build. First, I will start off with the Shard of Fate. This right here is the weapon that obviously will make or break this build. There are many other builds that you could run without this weapon that would probably be better, although this is a decent build to run, so you could check it out even if you don't have the Shard of Fate. If you do have the Odin's Sun, that does help the build, although I don't have one myself. It adds 20% lightning damage to all your abilities, but this one weapon here, the Shard of Fate, you will see later in the video why it's such a big part of this build. Other pieces you can obtain: Stone of Jordan rolls lightning damage. You can get lightning damage on bracers, necklace, and helmet as well. If you're not coming from the Diablo fans thread, I will link the thread in the bottom to show you all the pieces that you can obtain. Okay, let me go ahead and show you guys my abilities. First, with my generator, I use Frenzy. A lot of people question why I use a generator, although it's really not about the generator. It's about the extra lightning damage on it and the single target effectiveness it has with this build specifically, especially when you're running rifts and you're fighting rift guardians and chant packs. This can be really useful when you get those pesky affixed chant packs and bad rift guardians. This can really help in situational moments, and it does, on top of that, it does lightning damage. For my whirlwind rune, I obviously use the wind shear because that's the only one that gives lightning damage, and thankfully enough for us, it gives us 1 fury for enemy hit, so 10 plus mobs makes this ability actually a generator, which is amazing. And on top of that, you will see why whirlwind is so good with the weapon that I have on. Sprint, I run it with Marathon Rune. I use Sprint just because it keeps us offensive really fast, and there's nothing better than going through a rift in like 2 minutes and just getting those levels really fast. I do occasionally change the rune out for the 20% with all my allies, depending on how many people I'm running with and what I'm running with. Overpower, this is actually a really unique piece to this build because you do crit a lot, so this is off cooldown the majority of the time you are playing, especially single target. This is off cooldown. You can actually use this close to every 4 to 5 seconds just because you're critting so much with Frenzy. Whirlwind, when you're obviously spinning around 30 mobs, it's going to come off cooldown really fast, adding more damage to the build. On top of that, it does lightning damage, and it will just fits in really well with this build. When it comes to shouts, I obviously just go Battle Rage just for the pure damage. That's all it's for, just increasing your paper damage and just more effective damage overall. Warcry, Warcry is it's a weird ability that I use. I only use it just because I like to feel I like to feel more like a tank when it comes to playing this game. I do an insane amount of damage, but at the same time I like to stay alive. I'm not going to go straight all damage unless I'm running with a certain 3 other people. Like if I'm running with 3 other Crusaders or something, I wouldn't mind dropping that for Wrath of the Berserker. But if I'm going to be tanking the majority of the time, I like to obviously take a lot less damage, and the 20% all resist and the extra armor is a great bonus. When it comes to passives, I go with Weapons Master, Bloodthirst, Brawler, and Unforgiving. Weapons Master, honestly, that's just only there for damage. Same thing with Brawler. I'm always usually around 3 targets or more, so Brawler and Weapons Master are specifically there just for damage. Bloodthirst is my only defensive, pretty much, other than my Warcry. and sprint, I guess you could say, but this is what really keeps me alive the most, is the Bloodthirst, just because it heals me for every Fury I spend, and I'm always spinning, so I'm always spending Fury. So whenever I'm doing damage, I'm always healing, which I like to. It's keeping it simple, and it's really, really useful, especially when you're taking random damage from spinning. That just makes it so much easier to live. Unforgiving, I just use that just because it's a really good gap closer for your rage starving. Makes it so you don't ever lose Fury, and at the same time you're getting more Fury back. That is another reason why I do also run Warcry. Warcry does generate Fury, so if I ever do need that extra boost, I'm gonna be able to get it just by, you know, shouting. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I run with. That's specifically the main build right here. I mean, I do make a couple adjustments here and there depending on what I'm running with, but this right here is mainly the main build I run for solo play or just playing with like another friend. I only usually ever run with myself or, you know, a couple buddies, but this is primarily the main spec I run. I will go ahead and continue this video. I will just throw some good music on for you guys, and I'll demonstrate exactly what this build is all about.